The word of the day is Nick.
What's going on, kids? My name's Jesse, this is Satire Goat, and welcome back to YouTube, the only platform on the internet where you can look exactly like Shane Dawson. Alright kids, I am very excited today because this is a video and a series that I've been wanting to make and start for quite a long time now. Ever since the channel began, this is an idea that I've had and that I've wanted to implement into the channel, but I've just honestly been too scared to do up until this point because I've been frightened that either I don't have enough subscribers or enough support or that no one's going to want to see this type of content, but I've become confident enough in myself that I believe I'm going to start it. So today, you guys are witnessing the very first episode of this new series that I'm going to call TubeView. It's like reviewing a YouTuber, or a YouTube channel to be more precise. People have been reviewing art for decades, even centuries now, I'd say. Whether it be paintings, or movies, or television, music, you name it. Art is made to be reviewed, to be criticized, and to be consumed by consumers such as us. And YouTube, in a lot of odd ways, is like more of a modern interpretation of television. Tons of people can upload whatever they want onto YouTube, whether it be beauty gurus, whether it be comedy videos, whether it be avant-garde videos, whether it be anything from music to vlogs to, I think I've named comedy already, but I'll just name it a second time because wow, there's a lot of comedy on here. And also to reviewing. There are tons of reviewers on YouTube, whether it be a music reviewer like Anthony Fantano or a film reviewer such as Chris Stuckman or Jeremy Johns. People review art. It's just that simple. It's always happened. It's always going to happen. So I figure, why not make a YouTube channel, or at least a YouTube series, dedicated to reviewing other YouTubers or other YouTube channels? And that's exactly what I'm going to be doing today, and what I'm going to be starting to do today. Is that grammatically correct? Oh shit. Plus, I want to start this series off with a disclaimer. I am not, under any circumstances, trying to infer that I'm a good YouTuber in the slightest, because I know I'm not, okay? And with that being said, my very first video is gonna be on Shane Dawson. I wanted to pick a YouTuber for my very first episode of TubeView that I knew for a fact that I wouldn't have a strong bias towards any specific way, you know? I didn't want to pick a YouTuber that I immediately loved and have loved for a long time, nor did I want to pick a YouTuber that I had a strong disdain for. So therefore, Shane Dawson appeared to be a pretty decent man for the job. So kids, without any further ado, here is my review of Shane Dawson and his YouTube channels, Shane Dawson TV and Shane. For those of you who are rather new to Shane Dawson's fan base, it may come as a shock that Shane Dawson did not start with his YouTube channel Shane, and his first channel was actually a channel called Shane Dawson Television, which he started in March of 2008. That's right, that long ago. His very first video was uploaded in July of 2008, and ever since then he's become more known as a comedian than anything. Shane Dawson is a comedian, YouTuber, amateur documentarian, and vlogger based out of Los Angeles, California. And as you can see from his very first videos, he started from pretty humble beginnings like most YouTubers do. Most of his comedy, early on at least, followed formats and styles such as shock humor.
Hey, it's Demi Lovato, and you're watching the Disney Channel, the happiest place on earth. I hate my life.
Subversion humor.
The love game. That's where you're supposed to clap. If you don't fucking clap, I will shoot all of you!
Gross out comedy.
Hey, when you're done over there, you wanna come over here?
And almost more than anything else, absurdist humor.
I'm here. Fuck me! Justin, fuck me! Your brother is so hot. I just want to rip his balls off and wear him as a hat.
Shane Dawson was well known in his early years as having a darker channel than most comedy channels at his time. He started off in what I like to call the golden age of YouTube, from the years 2006 to approximately 2012, early 2013, where the primary demographic of YouTube were younger kids who are starting to enjoy watching videos that are edgier than what they've grown up to. Whereas kids have grown up watching perhaps tamer television shows such as Adventure Time or The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, now that they're able to get onto the internet, they're able to see darker comedy videos. This era of YouTube was populated by YouTubers such as Smosh, Ray William Johnson, Tobuscus, and also Shane Dawson, who is kind of seen as the black horse of this age. In late 2008, his video, Fred is Dead, started gaining tons of publicity, and he started gaining a lot of traction from that video. And ever since then, his channel has just grown, and he began to adopt a bunch of different types of characters. Most notably his character Shanae, which is still a pretty influential character in pop culture even today. Shane Dawson's videos ranged from inane and stupid to, I'm just kidding, they're all very stupid. They're all stupid videos. Not to take anything away from Shane Dawson, but because I want to make this known before I continue on with the video. I think Shane Dawson is a very funny person, and that's not satire. I'm not being facetious here. I truly believe that Shane Dawson is a very funny person. If you take a look at his timing, all the timings on his jokes is very well done and seems to be pretty meticulous. And also, when I say the golden age of YouTube, I don't mean that it's the best or anything. I just mean this is the age of YouTube that people tend to have the most nostalgia for when they look back on it. And despite the fact that Shane Dawson is kind of the dark horse of the golden age of YouTube, he has ended up becoming perhaps the most popular in modern times, and the most relevant as well, which is very interesting because Shane Dawson at his core is a very adaptable individual and has been able to adapt to the times as his YouTube channel has developed more and more over the years. I mean, take a look at any of his older videos and you'll notice that his style of video making tends to fall under sketch comedy or skit comedy that usually revolves around a relatable topic that he perceives through his dark humor style, full of shock humor and gross out humor. And there's nothing wrong with that. There are plenty of great comedians who use shock humor and gross out humor to its full effect, but if I'm going to be completely honest, Shane Dawson's early videos, or phase one as I like to call them, phase one of Shane Dawson's career, which I would say are the years between 2008 to around 2013, 2014, are the years where Shane Dawson traverses through a bunch of skit comedy and a bunch of sketch comedy where he talks about relatable topics through his dark lens of humor. And despite the fact that it is pretty unique from the time and a lot of YouTubers weren't making videos this dark, in a lot of ways he was the proprietor for postmodern humor through YouTube. I'd say without Shane Dawson, we most likely wouldn't have YouTubers such as a Filthy Frank or iDubbbz because Shane Dawson really traversed the path for that type of humor. However, that doesn't mean that it was all good, because to be quite honest with you, a lot of Shane Dawson's older humor is incredibly hit or miss. Where a lot of times, sure, his humor is pretty funny, and his timing definitely makes all the dark material very intriguing and also very relatable, which is a word I'm going to be using a lot throughout this TubeView. A lot of his comedy is also very, not good. I shouldn't say offensive, because a lot of his humor is intended to be offensive. Shane Dawson was a very edgy character back in the YouTube days before his reinvention, as I like to call it. But a lot of his humor definitely seems to be edgy just for the sake of being edgy as well, which kind of makes some of his old videos nearly unwatchable. But despite that fact, I would say that there are a decent amount of great Shane Dawson videos, like take this clip for example.
I dare you to wear your mom's bra. Oh, please. I already am! I look like Pink.
Now, as the years go on, and right before Shane Dawson enters phase 2 of his career, his views start to wane a little bit, as well as his subscriber count. His channel becomes nearly stagnant. He begins uploading less and less frequently as the years goes on. Around 2014 to early 2015, it becomes pretty obvious that the YouTube landscape is changing. Gone are the golden years of YouTube, and now is ushered in the silver age of YouTube, I like to call it, or better known as kind of the gaming age, where a lot of gaming and vlogging becomes more popular. It's more of a face-to-face interaction rather than characters and skits up to this point of YouTube. However, in 2015, a pretty interesting revelation came about as Shane Dawson made his now very popular video called I'm Bisexual, where Shane Dawson indeed comes out as bisexual. I'm not even going to entertain the fact that this video may be fake, as some people tend to think it is, and I'm going to take it at face value because I truly believe Shane Dawson is indeed bisexual and he didn't do this video for views. This video is almost like a hard cut from phase 1 of Shane Dawson's career to phase 2 of Shane Dawson's career, where Shane Dawson doesn't really upload on his main channel as much. I mean, sure, he still has a couple of skits from here on out and a couple of sketches, but mostly he begins uploading on his second channel, simply called Shane. And on this channel, he begins uploading a stronger variety of videos, including vlogs, try videos, videos on controversies, videos on a bunch of different dark topics. Not dark in his earlier sketch type, but dark in more of a horror realm. In these videos, it becomes pretty obvious that Shane is much more comfortable in front of the camera than he used to be, and it also seems like he's being himself more, rather than a character that he's portraying to the audience in his older videos. Shane Dawson here is much more realistic of a person, and is also much more, drumroll please, relatable. It seems like he's much more low-key and insecure of a person than he was before. Not to his detriment or anything. Like I said before, it's very relatable to see Shane Dawson in a very, very real situation such as this, such as doing vlogs, such as trying McDonald's food, such as talking about government conspiracies. He also lets a couple of other people upload onto his channel, such as this guy and this girl, to pretty middling results. No one really cared much for them. And this phase of Shane Dawson's YouTube career lasted from 2015 to about 2017, early 2018, I think. Whereas in phase 1 of Shane Dawson's career, where his views and subscribers were kind of becoming stagnant, in this era of Shane Dawson's career, he was actually growing quite a bit and his fan base was evolving. Whereas his fan base in phase 1 was most likely adolescent children to teenagers. As they were growing from teenage years to young adult years, it became obvious they were becoming less interested in Shane Dawson's channel. But now, with his newly found identity as bisexual and his new types of videos that appeal to younger audiences, his fan base was becoming more of a teenage girl demographic, which is a very interesting change. Because this phase of YouTube now, we're ushering in the Bronze Age, I'd say, which is basically 2017 to now. Granted, in 2015, 2016, there's definitely a lot of muddled styles of YouTube there, and I wouldn't even call that an age at all. That's like a wasteland, 2015 and 2016 was. But now that we're in the Bronze Age of YouTube, which is geared mostly towards very young audiences, I'd say, from beauty guru channels to makeup channels to even more vlog channels, YouTube has become an algorithm that appeals to very long videos and videos that keep you watching for a very extended periods amount of time. And due to this, Shane Dawson finally decided to pursue something that he's interested in for a very long time. And if you've been a fan of his channel for as long as I have, then you can tell that he's been interested in filmmaking ever since the early days. He has a video where I remember he talks about Scream and Titanic as his two favorite movies. He talks about James Cameron and he talks about Wes Craven's influence on his life. So it becomes pretty obvious that Shane Dawson is very into dark material, and it becomes obvious that Shane Dawson is also into documentary style material over this dark material. So as the years go on, around 2017, early 2018, he becomes very interested in controversies and conspiracy theories, and his videos shy more away from vlogs and the try videos that he used to make back in 2016, 2015, and he's now fully developed in conspiracy videos. That seems to be what his fans go to him for, even though he does have an audience primarily of younger girls and even some boys, I'll admit. All of his videos stay relatively pretty consistent in the realm of conspiracy videos. And it gets to the point where he actually ends up making a full-length documentary through YouTube on a character known as Jeffree Star, who's a YouTube beauty guru who's very mysterious, very controversial, and Shane Dawson wanted to make this documentary to kind of show how realistic this person is, to show the Jeffree Star behind the public persona that this person named Jeffree Star puts on. He uploaded this documentary on Jeffree Star that got very many views. I believe it has 30 million views, over 30 million views on YouTube right now, and gave him quite a lot of traction. And it proved that YouTube can be a platform that you can upload serious content on, whether it be documentaries or feature-length film. To be quite honest, this was a groundbreaking move. And even though I did try to watch this documentary, I wasn't that into it. And it pains me to say that because, well, to be quite honest with you, it was not very well done. It was somewhat unprofessional. In the intro, I called Shane Dawson an amateur documentarian because it's pretty obvious that even though he cares about the subject material, he didn't put all that much effort into the structure of it. All of the footage that people claimed is well edited is pretty obviously just stock footage. And all of his conversations with Jeffree Star only serve to tell the audience what they already know, is that Jeffree Star is a person like the rest of us. And as he goes on, Shane Dawson makes more and more documentaries. He makes one on Jake Paul, which went incredibly viral last year and proved that, once again, Shane Dawson can make a documentary with a lot of stock footage. That proves that Jake Paul is a person like the rest of us. Ooh. Yeah, sure, he's flawed, but deep down, he has a heart of gold. Shane Dawson also later went on to make another full-length documentary on conspiracy theories, which I did watch, and I will say is the best out of all of them. It definitely seemed like Shane's heart was certainly in that documentary, because he was very much into that, and he actually exposed some decent points about places like Chuck E. Cheese, for example, which is really frightening to think that that may be true. To be quite honest, I'm not a huge fan of Phase 2 or Phase 3 of Shane Dawson's career. When it comes to his try videos and his vlogs, I'll be quite honest, they seem to be rather mundane, unspecial, pretty repetitious as well, and I'm just not very interested to see what Shane Dawson has to say about McDonald's, as A, he's not a professional food critic, and B, even though he does have a relatively positive and interesting personality, it's not enough to carry a video of him just eating McDonald's for 10 minutes. Same thing with his vlogs, even though Shane Dawson, I'm sure, has an interesting life, it definitely seems like he's somewhat introverted, and his vlogs are mildly not that interesting. And Phase 3, when it comes to Phase 3 of Shane Dawson's career, well, I do give the documentaries credit because they certainly have a lot of interesting points that they try to make in them, and they do definitely open the door for many more documentaries and films and more creators to make things through the platform of YouTube. It's just not well done, and I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say I enjoyed it when it was a pain to sit through almost all of those documentaries other than the conspiracy theory one that Shane uploaded. In conclusion, Shane Dawson is a YouTube channel that I appreciate and I respect. This man is a revolutionary in terms of YouTube creators. Early on in Phase 1 of his career, he opened the door for many YouTubers to produce more dark and edgy content. Without him, like I said before, we wouldn't have content as edgy as we do now. And in Phase 2 and 3 of his career, he completely reinvented himself as a different character and as a more relatable person. And he opened the door for YouTubers to perhaps make more cinematic YouTube videos, to have more quality to the videos, to, produce different types of content on YouTube. He's a revolutionary creator, to be sure, but that hasn't changed the fact that I think a lot of people misperceive how good his videos exactly are, because just take a look at this clip.
It is 4:30 in the morning, and I can't sleep.
Pull the lever!
Something that's been on my mind.
That was like my first introduction to the sound that you hear at the casino.
I recently went to a Chuck E. Cheese.
What do you have, Tom?
Money for the diseases.
Is this what we're teaching our children? Is this what we're teaching them?
Like, that's all stock footage. People are pining over how excellent his videos are, but to be quite honest, they seem relatively unprofessional and could be produced within a decent amount of time. When grading Shane Dawson, I'm not just going to give him a grade for his documentaries or for his comedy or for his vlogs. I'm going to grade it all together as one giant project, because ultimately that is what Shane Dawson is. He has over a decade's worth of content on his 2 YouTube channels combined, and we had to take in all of it to grade him as a creator overall. And despite the fact that, yeah, sure, a lot of Shane Dawson's early videos are somewhat cringeworthy and can be dark just for the sake of being dark, and while a lot of his new videos are somewhat cringeworthy and are not the best in terms of quality, I gotta give it to the guy. He is excellent at reinventing himself. He does seem to be a legitimately funny person. And if you look at all of his different styles of YouTube videos, or his different phases, he kind of intriguingly has a different perspective in each one of them. Like, take a look at the way his earlier videos are filmed. They're much more grimy and grungy looking. He has the camera in a very specific place. All of his characters and the way they're filmed are very erratic. His camera perspective moves from place to place, and it's a very fun type of video. Whereas you look at his vlogs, and it's much more stylized. The contrast is much higher, it's very bright and colorful, and the camera is stationary for most of the video as he tries different items, or he, talks about conspiracies. And you take a look at his documentaries, and it's much more of a found footage style, actually. You have a cameraman holding the camera, moving from place to place, giving it somewhat of a feel like The Office, or a television show where someone hunts ghosts. Something more horror-centric. Did I just call The Office horror-centric? Wow, I'm dumb. So, I've got to give it to the guy. Regardless of the fact that I'm not really a fan of his like I used to be back in the early days of YouTube when I watched his comedy videos behind bedroom doors when my parents really didn't want me to watch them. I look at his videos now and I can't say I'm a fan overall. regardless of that, I appreciate his humor, I respect the hell out of this man, and ultimately taking in Phase 1, Phase 2, and Phase 3 of Shane Dawson's career, I'm going to give him an ultimate score of a 5.9 out of 10. I appreciate this man. I am going to support what he does in the future because I can tell he's a creative mind at heart, and I wish him the best of luck in his future endeavors. Alright guys, that is the first episode of TubeView. Not gonna lie, the format of it, it's a little rough. I'm still getting used to things. I worked very hard on this episode though, and I'd appreciate it if you guys gave me a like. I'd appreciate it if you subscribe, if you share this video to your friends. What YouTuber do you want me to review next? Drop it in the description below. Give me a little comment because I'm gonna make more types of these videos and hopefully they will be less erratic in the future because I am aware that this video was somewhat illy formatted. He has a lot of content to go over, I must admit. And once again, thank you guys for the support. Thank you for the wait for this video, and love you all, kids. Bye-bye.